February 11th, 2010. Greensburg, Pennsylvania. A truck driver named Daniel Grant pulls into the parking lot of Greensburg-Salem Middle School, just like any other morning. Snow covers the ground. The lot is quiet. Then he sees it. A garbage can, shoved underneath his truck. He moves closer, and what he finds inside will haunt him, and this entire community, for the rest of their lives. Inside that trash can, wrapped in Christmas decorations, was a human being. Her name was Jennifer Daugherty. She was 30 years old, and she had trusted the wrong people. Jennifer Lee Daugherty was born on November 8, 1979, in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. From early in her life, she lived with intellectual and developmental disabilities. But those who knew her never described her by what she couldn't do. They described her by who she was. Her family remembers a woman who was warm, enthusiastic, and completely open to the world. Her sister Joy once said that Jennifer always wanted to be part of the group. Any group. She saw the best in everyone she met. She didn't understand why anyone would want to hurt her, because it simply wasn't in her nature to hurt anyone else. By 2010, Jennifer was 30 years old and living with her mother, Denise, and stepfather Bobby in Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, a small borough about 12 miles from the city of Greensburg. She had dreams. Quiet, ordinary dreams. She wanted to live independently. She wanted a life of her own. Jennifer's disability meant she functioned at roughly the intellectual level of a 14-year-old. She understood friendship, she understood kindness, she understood love. What she sometimes struggled to read were deception, manipulation, and danger. And the people she was about to meet had all three in abundance. To understand what happened to Jennifer, you need to understand the group she walked into. 6 people who had come together through homeless shelters, jail, and mutual dysfunction, all converging on a single apartment at 428 North Pennsylvania Avenue in Greensburg. At the center was Ricky Smyans, 23 years old. The apartment was his. Smyans had a childhood marked by neglect, abuse, foster care, and serious mental health diagnoses. But none of that explains or excuses what he chose to do. He was in a relationship with a 17-year-old high school student named Angela Marinucci, who prosecutors would later call the prime instigator of what followed. Also in the apartment were Melvin Knight, 20, and his pregnant girlfriend Amber Meidinger, 20, a couple who had recently arrived from a homeless shelter in Washington County. Rounding out the group were Peggy Miller, 28, and Robert Masters, 36. 2 older individuals who would not stop what was coming, even when they had the chance. Jennifer knew some of these people through the West Place Clubhouse, a community center in Greensburg that served adults with mental disabilities. That is where she first met Amber Meidinger and where the false friendship began. On February 10th, 2010, Jennifer told her parents she was going to a sleepover at a friend's apartment in Greensburg. She believed she was going to see a woman named Peggy. Before she left, she did something small and ordinary and heartbreaking. She left a note for her mother. It read, "Mom, I hope you have a good day at work, and I love you very much. Love, Jennifer." Those were the last words Jennifer ever wrote to her family. Jennifer made the 12-mile trip to Greensburg by bus, something she had done many times before for doctor's appointments and social visits. Her parents weren't alarmed. This was normal. Jennifer was independent, capable of traveling on her own, and had told them where she was going. What they didn't know was the address she had was Ricky Smyans' apartment, and what had triggered the invitation was something almost incomprehensibly petty. At some point, Jennifer, who had a crush on Ricky Smyans, had made a comment about wanting to be with him. Angela Marinucci overheard it, and Angela, who was in a secret relationship with Smyans, decided to punish Jennifer for it, She talked to the others. They agreed. They invited Jennifer to the apartment, and then they waited. What I'm about to describe is deeply disturbing. I am sharing it not for shock value, but because Jennifer's suffering deserves to be witnessed. And because understanding what happened is the only way to understand why justice mattered so much in this case. From the moment Jennifer arrived at that apartment, the abuse began almost immediately. The group went through her purse and stole her money, her gift cards, and her phone, including the $8 in bus fare that was her only way home. They cut her hair. They painted her face with nail polish. They hit her, humiliated her, and stripped away every shred of her dignity, 1 hour at a time. Through it all, according to courtroom testimony, Jennifer kept asking the same question. Why? She never got an answer. Over the course of more than 36 hours, the group held what they called family meetings, votes on what to do with her, what to do next, whether to kill her. Each time, they voted to continue. At some point, the decision was made that Jennifer could not leave, that she had seen too much, that she had to die. They forced her to write a fake suicide note. They tied her with Christmas lights. And then Melvin Knight and Ricky Smearns stabbed her to death. Afterward, they put her body into a trash can, wheeled it through the snow to the nearby school parking lot, and shoved it beneath a parked truck. They went back inside. One of them, according to a witness, was so pleased with the news coverage that followed that she was jumping on her bed in excitement. Jennifer's family had no idea she was gone. When Jennifer's body was discovered, on the morning of February 11th, police moved quickly. Jennifer's parents had given investigators the address they believed Jennifer had gone to, and when officers cross-referenced it, they found Ricky Smearns' apartment at 428 North Pennsylvania Avenue. That same evening, less than 24 hours after Jennifer's body was found, police held a press conference. All 6 perpetrators had been identified and charged with murder. Melvin Knight did not wait for trial. He sat down with detectives and described, in detail, what had happened over those 36 hours. It was one of the most damning confessions investigators had ever heard, and it sealed the fate of the entire group. The case that followed became one of the longest and most complex in Westmoreland County history, whose trials spanned 12 years, from 2010 to 2022. As defense attorneys filed appeals, juvenile status complicated sentencing, and the courts worked to deliver a verdict for every single person in that apartment. The sentences handed down were as follows. Melvin Knight pleaded guilty to first and second degree murder and kidnapping, sentenced to death. Ricky Smearns, convicted of first degree murder, sentenced to death. Angela Marinucci, convicted of first degree murder, sentenced to 60 years to life. Amber Meidinger pleaded guilty and testified for the prosecution, sentenced to 40 to 80 years. Peggy Miller pleaded guilty to third-degree murder, sentenced to 35 to 74 years. Robert Masters pleaded guilty to third-degree murder, sentenced to 30 to 70 years. Every single member of the Greensburg Six was convicted. Not one of them walked free. Knight and Smearns, who delivered the fatal blows, were sentenced to death. Marinucci, the teenager prosecutors called the prime instigator, will likely die in prison. The others will spend decades behind bars. The trials lasted 12 years. For Jennifer's family, there was no clean ending. Her stepfather Bobby said it best outside the courthouse. Closure is Jennifer coming back to us, and Jennifer won't come back, so there is no closure. Jennifer's death did change something. In 2012, Pennsylvania signed into law what became known as Jennifer's Law, legislation making it a criminal offense to witness a violent crime and deliberately fail to report it. It was a direct response to the fact that in that apartment, 6 people participated, voted, and watched, and not one of them called for help. And Jennifer's name is now attached to a law that may one day save someone else's life. That is not justice, but it is something. Jennifer Daugherty was not defined by the way she died. She was defined by the way she lived, openly, warmly, with complete trust in the people around her. She loved to dance. She loved to sing. She always wanted to be part of the group, whatever group was around her. She saw the best in everyone. That wasn't a weakness, it was who she was. And it is who she will always be to the people who loved her. This case asks a question that every one of us should sit with. What do we owe the most vulnerable people in our communities? Jennifer trusted people who repaid that trust with cruelty. She deserved better. She deserved protection, friendship, and dignity. She deserved to grow old. If this case moved you, please share it. Jennifer's story should be known, not as a horror story, but as a reminder that the people around us who are most trusting are also most in need of people who will look out for them. I'm Your Name, and this is Peak Crime Stories. If you're new here, subscribe. We release a new investigation every week. Drop your thoughts on this case in the comments below. Rest easy, Jennifer.